Before the world ever had her name, Kamsi was just that girl. The one who lived in a big house but looked like she didn't belong there. She was small for her age, with tired eyes that always seemed to carry yesterday's sorrow. Her hair was hardly combed, her slippers were mismatched. Her uniforms were always a shade duller than the rest. Kamsi lived in a house filled with people, yet she was deeply alone. After her mother died when she was barely 6, her father quickly remarried a woman named Nneka. To outsiders, Nneka looked elegant, always in lace wrappers and gold earrings that glittered in the sun, but behind closed doors, she was a different person. She turned Kamsi into a maid, stripping her of childhood one chore at a time. Every day began the same. Long before the rooster crowed, Kamsi would be up, sweeping the compound, fetching water, lighting the charcoal stove. By the time her stepsisters Chidinma and Onyinye woke up, their hot water was ready, their uniforms ironed and breakfast set on the table. Nobody ever asked if Kamsi had eaten. "Why are you so slow? You want me to miss morning devotion?" Nneka would scream, sometimes throwing the hot comb she used on Onyinye's hair. "Useless girl, is it not enough that I let you live in my house? Your mates are in the village fetching firewood with their mothers." Kamsi never talked back. She knew the consequences. One night, she asked for a new sandals when hers was torn beyond repair. Nneka slapped her so hard, her ears rang for days. Her father saw it happen. He simply sighed and walked back into his room. School was no escape. By the time she got there, always late, the punishment would have already started. "Why are you late again, Kamsi?" her teacher barked. "I had to finish house chores, ma." "Lie, you are just lazy. Kneel down there until break time." Sometimes she missed the entire first period. Other times she would be given 10 strokes of the cane before being allowed to join the others. She had no friends. Nobody wanted to sit beside a girl who smelled of firewood, smoke and calloused hands. The only kindness she ever received came from Madam Ifunanya, a roasted groundnut seller by the market road. "Come here, my daughter," Madam Ifunanya would call out when Kamsi passed by, returning from errands. "Come and rest a little." She would hand Kamsi a few groundnuts wrapped in old newspaper. "Thank you, ma," Kamsi would say, tears always close. "Don't cry. One day, you go better. Life no dey always dey like this," Madam Ifunanya would say in their local dialect. "Your tears are going to heaven. One day, God go collect and do something big." Kamsi would nod slowly, not always believing, but holding onto the woman's words like they were drops of water in a desert. At home, the insults never stopped. "Don't touch my books. You want to carry your illiterate spirit to my side," Chidinma once shouted. "Eh? She wants to go to school too." "To do what? Sweep the classroom?" They laughed, and Nneka didn't stop them. Dinner wasn't guaranteed. Sometimes she would cook 3 different meals for the family and still be told, "You've eaten in your dream, sleep." One night, the rain came, heavy and cold, but because Kamsi had forgotten to fill the kerosene in the lantern, Nneka told her to sleep outside. "You think this is your father's house?" She called herself up near the veranda, her wrapper soaked, her belly empty, her body shivering, her tears mixed with the rain as she stared at the dark sky. She didn't pray anymore. She didn't cry for help. She just existed. But deep inside, something small still burned, a faint hope, a whisper of more. It was buried under pain and silence, but it was there. And even though she didn't know it yet, her story was about to change. There were some things pain could not steal: hope, curiosity, and the stubborn hunger for something better. Kamsi had all 3. By the time she was 15, her chores had doubled, but so had her determination. Every night after washing plates, sweeping rooms, scrubbing toilet floors, and fetching water that could drown an elephant, she would tiptoe into the corridor outside Mama Funaya's shop. The shop closed early, but the wooden window always had a gap wide enough for her to pull out 1 or 2 old textbooks left behind by Mama Funaya's children. She would squat in the shadows, lit by a distant yellow of a street light and read about continents she might never see, chemicals she might never miss, and words she could barely pronounce. Photosynthesis, she whispered one night. Child. She giggled and slapped her own cheek. One day, I go scatter your head with big grammar. Sometimes, she risked more. One night, when her stepsisters were fast asleep, she would creep into their room like a thief, eyes darting, heart racing. From their shelves, she would grab math workbook, biology notes, anything she could find. One night, she even took a flashcard of Latin root words, thinking it was a ticket to sounding like a queen. But heaven does not forget effort. One hot afternoon, she was caught. Thief! Thief! Come and see this girl, oh! Onyinye screamed like she just caught an arm robber. Nneka rushed in barefoot, wrapper flying. Jesus! My house has turned to night school. You sneak into my daughter's room so you can be what? A lawyer? Let thunder from Obo Hill strike your ambition. Kamsi fell to her knees. I'm sorry, ma. I just wanted to learn. Shut up! You wanted to steal their knowledge. You want to suck Onyinye's sense through her pencil. Not in my house. That day, she got no food. That night, she got locked in the outside kitchen. The next day, still no food, no water. Just a bucket and a door that wouldn't open until the evening of the second day. When her father returned from a business trip and saw her frail body, he fled. Nneka, why was she locked up? Look at her. Nneka folded her arms and put on her best actress face. Ask her. Ask your daughter who enters my daughter's room at night. She could have stolen money. She was crawling like a snake. I was afraid. I only took their book, Kamsi said weakly. Nneka cut in. You see? Next thing it will be phone. The jewelries. She's becoming wild. I was only trying to discipline her. If you don't want me to discipline her again, say it now. Kamsi's father looked down, hands on his waist. He wanted to say more, but he didn't. He never did. That night, Kamsi cried in her room, biting her wrapper to stop her sobs from waking anyone. Her whisper was bitter. Why, God? Why did you give me a mother that died too early? What kind of punishment is this? Am I not someone's child too? Her tears soaked her mat, but the morning didn't care. Weeks later, Madam Ifnanya handed her a folded paper in secret. My son say them they do scholarship exam, she whispered. They are looking for girls like you. You will get strong head. I will help you register. Exam na next week. Come and collect uniform. You must go. Kamsi clutched the flyer like treasure. She wrote the exam like her life depended on it, because it did. When the results came, the school walls were flooded with students. Names screamed in the air like lottery numbers. Girls were shouting, crying and jumping. Teachers looked surprised. At the top of the list, one, Kamsi Ndoka, passed with distinction. There was dead silence and whispers. Kamsi, the maid? That girl where they always come late. No be juju be that. Her stepsisters' names weren't on the list, not even in the wait list section. That evening at home, Onyinye stormed into the sitting room, flung her shoes and shouted, I am not eating. Chidima burst into tears. How can Kamsi pass and we fail? God forbid, mommy, I can't sleep tonight. Nneka tried to console them, but her head was boiling. When Kamsi came back from school, clutching the official confirmation letter and permission slip for the next stage of interview, Nneka faked a smile. Well done. So you want to leave us now, eh? You want to carry Oyibo sense and forget those who raised you? Kamsi said nothing. She smiled faintly and walked to the backyard. But that night, Nneka couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned. The mosquito coil burned out. Her daughter snored away and her husband was humming in his sleep. She sat up in bed. If this girl leaves this house, I'm finished. She got up quietly and opened her old traveling box. Inside was a small black nylon, the one she had hidden since the time Onyinye had typhoid. It contained a powdered substance and a tiny bottle. She stared at it long and hard. A knock came on her door. It was Onyinye. Mommy, will you let her go? Nneka's eyes narrowed. No, not while I'm alive. 2 days later, she prepared a celebration dinner, jollof rice with fried turkey, a meal Kamsi hadn't tasted in years. "Come, my daughter," she said sweetly. "Let's celebrate your victory. This is your time to shine." Kamsi sat slowly. She stared at the plate. Everyone watched her. She raised the spoon to her lips. The spoon hovered near Kamsi's mouth. The smell of fried turkey danced around her nose like a cruel joke. Her stomach rumbled in betrayal, a full drum in the middle of war. She hesitated. Nneka's voice broke the silence. "Eat now. What is it? Abi, you think we put juju inside?" she said, laughing with her mouth but stabbing with her eyes. Kamsi gave a soft, awkward smile. "No, ma." She took a bite. Everyone stared. Even the wall clock seemed to pause. She swallowed. "Eat more, dear," Nneka urged, wiping invisible tears of fake joy from her cheeks. "This is a mother's blessing meal. It will make you fly well." "Fly well?" The words landed with a thud on Kamsi's chest. But hunger is a shameless thing. It forgets pride when jollof rice is in front of it. She ate 3 more spoons, then excused herself to wash her hands. She didn't return. 10 minutes later, Onyinye screamed from the corridor. "Mommy! Mommy, oh! Kamsi is vomiting blood!" Chidinma joined. She's shaking like generator on low fuel. The house turned into chaos. The neighbors heard the screams. Madam Ifunanya ran barefoot, wrapper half-tied, shouting louder than a village gong. "Who touched my daughter? Who touched her?" They rushed her to the hospital in a neighbor's car. Nneka followed, wailing louder than the ambulance. "My daughter! My daughter!" she cried, a performance worthy of Nollywood awards. In the emergency room, Kamsi lay still, pale and motionless. The nurse pumped her stomach. A doctor injected her arm. Machines beeped like angry alarms. The doctor stepped out an hour later. His face was the color of storm clouds. "She was poisoned," he said. The air froze. "Poisoned?" Nneka staggered. "Jesu! Poison? God of Elijah, fight my enemies." But Madam Ifunanya stepped forward, eyes blazing. "What did she eat?" "Jollof rice and turkey," Chidinma whispered. "Who cooked it?" the doctor asked. All heads turned to Nneka. She clutched her chest. "Me? I prepared it with love. Maybe it was the oil, or maybe she ate something at school." "She didn't go to school today," Onyinye added accidentally, and there was dead silence. The doctor narrowed his eyes. "We're reporting this case. Forensics will take the leftover for testing." Nneka's hand started shaking. "Doctor, please, it's a misunderstanding. I'm a mother of 3. I go to church." The nurses returned. "She's awake now," the nurse said. Everyone rushed in. Kamsi looked weak, eyes half closed, voice barely there. "Water," she whispered, and they gave her water. She sipped and blinked slowly. "Flyer, my scholarship flyer. Where is it?" Madam Ifunanya gripped her hand. "I kept it safe, my daughter. You are going nowhere but up." Tears slid down Kamsi's face. The doctor returned. "She needs rest. We'll keep her overnight for observation." Outside the room, Kamsi's father paced around like a lost sheep. He finally turned to Nneka. "If I find out that you had anything to do with this, I swear, Nneka, I will bury my shame and dig out the truth." Nneka hissed. "So I'm now a murderer because a child vomited. God that sees all fights for me." Her voice cracked mid-sentence because even heaven wasn't convinced. The next morning, the principal herself came to visit. "We heard what happened," she said, "and the embassy contacted the school. The interview is in 2 days. If Kamsi doesn't attend, the slot goes to the next candidate." Mami Funaya spoke up. "She will attend. Even if I have to carry her on my back to that interview, she will attend." 2 nights later, Kamsi was at the embassy gates. Her face still pale, but her heart steady. She clutched the flyer and her letter tightly. She passed the security checks. She entered the hall. She sat and she smiled because even poison couldn't kill destiny. The air inside the embassy smelled of ambition. Girls in smart gowns and braided hair sat upright, their eyes dancing with fear and hope. Some read silently from folders, others rehearsed answers under their breaths. But Kamsi just sat there. She wore a plain dress Mami Funaya had ironed for her. Her shoes were borrowed, a size too big. Her scarf was pinned with an old brooch that belonged to Ifunaya's late daughter. She didn't speak. She didn't fidget. She sat like someone who had died 100 times and came back wiser each time. When her name was called, she rose slowly. Inside the interview room, 3 panelists sat: a British official, a Nigerian education attaché, and a woman from the Ministry of Gender Equality. The man asked first, "Kamsi Ndoka, tell us, what makes you different from the other girls applying for this scholarship?" Kamsi took a deep breath. "Sir, I don't know if I'm different, but I know pain. I know what hunger feels like when there's food in the house. I know what it means to be beaten for wanting to learn. I know what it means to wash someone's socks and read their books at night in secret." The room fell silent. She continued, "I didn't come here to beg. I just came to prove that suffering doesn't mean stupidity. I read your brochure under candlelight. I filled the form with the help of a woman selling granuts. I almost died this week, but God spared me. So if you want someone who will not waste this opportunity, I'm her." The woman from the ministry blinked, visibly moved. A British official cleared his throat and scribbled something. 10 minutes later, Kamsi was outside. That night, the letter came. Madam Ifunanya read it out loud. "We are pleased to inform you that you have been selected for full scholarship." Kamsi dropped to her knees weeping. The neighbors screamed and the compound turned into a mini carnival. But inside her stepmother's room, Nneka sat like a log. Her eyes stared at nothing. Her daughters wept silently, not out of jealousy anymore, but shame. The next day, police officers visited. They had completed the food testing. The rice had traces of rat poison, the officers announced. Nneka fainted. Her husband looked like someone who had been slapped with an iron rod. Nneka was taken in for questioning. Kamsi's father couldn't stop crying. "I'm sorry, Kamsi. I failed you. I failed your mother." Kamsi looked him in the eye. "Then don't fail my future. Sign my passport." He did. The airport was bright that morning. Kamsi wore a simple black turtleneck and blue jeans. When she turned to wave, the entire street was watching. Some clapped, some wiped tears. Chidima and Onyinye couldn't even look her in the eye. Madam Ifunanya walked up to her. "Go there and become something. Don't just blow, shine. And when you shine, shine for all of us who were never given a chance." Kamsi hugged her like his second mother. "I will." She boarded and their plane took off. 6 years later, London, conference hall, TED Talk. The screen lit up behind the speaker, Kamsi Ndoka, human rights lawyer and international education advocate. She stepped up, confident, polished, a queen in her own right. "I was once called an illiterate," she began. "I was once beaten for reading. I almost died for dreaming, but I survived. And now, I built schools for girls like me." The audience stood and applauded loudly. She smiled. A month later in Nigeria, a brand new school opened in Abia State. The name was the Grace Foundation School for Girls. On the plaque at the entrance, it read, "For every girl they called useless." Inside, the first person that was enrolled was Onyinye, sponsored anonymously by Kamsi. Nneka, now older, sat under a mango tree nearby. Her clothes were plain. Her eyes held 1,000 regrets. She watched from a distance, never called, never acknowledged. But she saw the girl she once starved, now feeding a generation. Kamsi stood to address the first set of students enrolled in the school. "To anyone out there, living in a house where you are treated like nothing, where they mock your dreams, silence your voice and make you invisible, I want you to know something. You are not what they called you. You are what you choose to become. They called me a maid. Now the world calls me madam. Don't give up. Even when they poison your food, poison your name, poison your hope, do not give up. Because when God fights for you, even your enemies will clap."
Hey, wait a second. You're really about to leave without subscribing? That's just cruel. Look, I may not have magical powers, but every new subscriber gives me superpowers of happiness. And the like button, that's like fries with a burger. Essential. So here's the deal. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell too. So the next time I upload, your phone goes, "Ding, it's time for awesomeness." And hey, if you enjoyed this video, show some love. If you didn't, show even more love by dropping a comment. Catch you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourself. And this channel too. Today we're going to share with you the keys to a happy life. Be thankful. Gratitude. Every morning when your eyes open, thank God. No matter how small your blessing be, if you still get breath for body, food for table, and family around you, you're already rich. Grateful heart they bring peace. And peace na the root of happiness. Treat people well. Good behavior. Treat people with respect. Talk to others the way you go want, make them talk to you. If you show kindness, it go come back to you. Smile at somebody. Help your neighbor. Share if you get. It no cost you anything, but it dey bless your soul. Good character na real wealth for this world. Take care of your body and mind. Health. No forget your body na your engine. If you no take care of how you go move. Eat clean, drink water, rest well, and move your body small every day. And not only your body, your mind too. If something they worry you, talk to someone. Pray, meditate. Peace of mind na serious blessing. Live with purpose, motive, and vision. No just live anyhow. Find what they give you meaning. Whether not to raise your children well, build your small business, or help your community, just get one reason to wake up every day. Purpose na like fire inside body. If you get you go shine no matter the darkness. Respect and hold your relationships, family and community. Money they come and go. Work fit end. But people way love you. They're the true blessings. Call your mama, hug your papa, greet your friend. No keep malice. Forgive. Because at the end, the love and connection, they give life real joy.